Hi everyone, today we'll learn the long division method to find square roots. So suppose we are given 2 and we need to find the square root of 2. So first, we'll create the division block here and we'll add a lot of zeros after the decimal point. So it is after the decimal point, so we can add as many zeros as we want. So the first thing we do to find the square roots is we make pairs. So we have to make pairs after the decimal point. So here these two can be paired, these two can be paired, these two can be paired, and these two can be paired. And we also make pairs before the decimal. So only 2 is given, so we write it as 0, 2. And we make this a pair. And you'll see the importance of it as we do the long division. Now the first step to find the square root is first we need to find a number whose square is closest to 2. So that would be 1. So first we'll write 1 here as the divisor. And there's a rule of trio here that works, where it is we have to multiply above, add below, and the trio. This step is exactly what it makes different from the normal long division. So what we mean by that is whatever divisor we are putting here on the units place, whatever number we are putting here in the units place, we have to put it at 2 other places, which is here and here. And the importance of this is, this becomes our quotient. So we have to multiply with the quotient to get a new dividend. So 1 into 1 would be 1, and we subtract it from the dividend to get the first part of our new dividend. And on the other side, to get the first part of our new divisor, we have to add. So there is 1 here, we add it with the 1 to get 2 here. Now this is the first part of our new divisor, and this is the first part of our new dividend. To get the full dividend, we have to bring down the next pair to make the new dividend. So bringing down this 0, and now it makes sense why we paired the zeros. So this is our new dividend. Now to make the entire of a new divisor, what we need to remember is that whatever number we are putting here on the units place, as we discussed, it will happen 3 times. It would be here, it would be on the quotient mark, and it will also be below the divisor. So the idea of that is, so first here the decimal point is given and we are going after the decimal point, so we'll have to put the decimal point here. And then the next number that I'm going to put to complete our divisor would be such that the new divisor formed into the unit digit that we chose is closest to the dividend. And what that means is, because we have to complete the rule of trio, we'll have to write that number here, here, and here. And because of that, to get a new dividend, we have to subtract. And what do we subtract with? It would be the multiplication of the divisor into the quotient. So we have to choose a number in the units place such that this product, the divisor into the quotient, is the closest to a new dividend. So let's see that. So closest to 100, let's see 23. So if we put 3 in the units place, we get 23 into 3 would be 69. Okay, now let's check 4. So 24 into 4 would be 96. Now that is pretty close to 100. Let's also check with 5. So 25 into 5, that is 125. Now that overshoots. That is more than 100. So the closest to 100, which is less than 100, would be with the unit digit 4. So now that we put 4 here, we have to put it 3 times here, here, and here. So let's put it there. So we have 4 plus 4 and 4 here. Such that now when we multiply above 24 into 4, this is 96, which is closest to 100. And this will give us the first part of the new dividend. So that is 4. And to get the first part of the new divisor, we'll have to add. So 24 plus 4, that's 28. And then we do the same steps from 3 over and over to get the next digits of the square root. So to get the full part of a dividend, we'll bring down the pair of zeros, and to get the full part of the divisor, we'll pick a number, we'll pick the units place such that we have to put it 3 times here, here and here, such that the product of the new divisor into that unit digit which comes in the quotient would be the closest to 400. So let's see what digit we can put. So we'll put closest to 400. Let's see, 281 into 1, that would be 281. 282 into 2, so that would be 564, which overshoots 400. So we'll have to go with the unit digit 1. So let's put 1 here. So that's 1 plus 1 and 1 here, such that 281 into 1 would give us 281. And if we subtract it, we'll get the first part of a new dividend, which is 119. And to get the first part of a new divisor, we'll have to add it. So we have to multiply above, add below. So 281 plus 1 would be 282. Again, to make the full dividend, we'll have to bring down the zeros. And to get the full divisor, we'll have to find a unit digit such that the new divisor into the unit digit, which also comes in the quotient, would be the closest to 11900. So the closest to 11,900 would be 2823 into 3. So that would be 8,469. 2,824 into 4. So that is 11,296. Now this is pretty close to 11,900. So we'll put 4 here. And we also put 4 in the quotient. So this is the process that if we keep on doing, we'll get the next digits of the irrational number. But since it's an irrational number, root of 2 is an irrational number, it would be non-terminating. It's up to us where we would stop and say that this is the closest part of root 2. So let's say we just stop at 3 decimal places. So this is and root 2. So root 2 is close to 1.414. Now we know how to find the square root of a number using long division. Now let's also talk about irrational numbers. So here root 2 is closest to 1.414, and this would be a non-terminating decimal, right? So it would be non-terminating. Also the property of irrational number is that it would be non-recurring, which means that there is no fixed pattern. So it's not like the next digits would be 4, 1, 4, 1, 4. It will all be different digits and there is no fixed pattern. So it is also non-recurring. And then we have both these properties in the decimal expansion. We say that that number is an irrational number. And that is different from rational numbers, because rational numbers are numbers that can be expressed in the form p by q, where q is not equal to 0 and p and q are integers. And the decimal expansion of rational numbers are one of two things. Either it's terminating. An example would be 1 by 5, which is 0.20, and it terminates at 0.20. So this is a terminating decimal, which means that it will be a rational number. Or if it's non-terminating, then it will be recurring, because if it's non-recurring, it becomes an irrational number. So an example of this would be if we take 2 by 7, whose decimal expansion is 0.285714, and this pattern keeps on repeating. So it will be 0.285714, 285714, 285714, and so on. And so we represent that by putting a bar over the repeating part. So that is the difference between irrational numbers and rational numbers. Let's also look at few more examples of irrational numbers. So the property is that it's non-terminating and it's non-recurring. We already saw that root 2 becomes an irrational number. And similarly, root 3 is also a rational number because the decimal expansion of it is 1.732 and so on. It is non-terminating and non-recurring. And also root 5, if we look at it, would be an irrational number. So it would be 2.23606 and it keeps on going. And a neat trick to find out the irrational number is that if n is a natural number other than a perfect square, then root of n is an irrational number. So here 3 and 5 both are not perfect squares, so the root of both these numbers are just irrational numbers. So let's look at root 6. Root 6 is equal to 2.44948, and this is again non-terminating, non-recurring, so root 6 is also an irrational number. Let's look at root 7. So root 7 is equal to 2.64575, and it goes on. Again, non-terminating, non-recurring, so again an irrational number. Now let's look at root 9. Now 9 is a perfect square, so root of 9 would be 3. So this is terminating, which means it's not an irrational number and it is actually a rational number. So that is all about irrational numbers and rational numbers and how to find the square root of a number using long division. So that's all about it. Thank you.